On top of fire, if I type Fuchigami and hit enter, it pulls up all the Fuchigamis that have bought one of my resources. Hey TPT sellers, there is a problem with the TPT sales report when we log into our TPT seller dashboards on the website. I have a solution, but I need your help coming up with a good name. So I have an update on a free seller tool, and I want to call it Sales Search, but I don't love the acronym. Then I came up with Advanced Sales Search, but I don't know if I like that acronym either. So I need your help with coming up with a good name. Watch to the end of this video and leave a comment letting me know what you think I should call this new feature in our Google Sheet TPT data seller tool. My name is Mike Fuchigami. I am the host of the SEOTpreneur channel. This episode is for hamsters and hawks because we're taking a little bit of a deeper dive into TPT data. You're welcome to watch this video if you're starting your TPT journey because it's nice to see what's coming up ahead, but you may need to move the needle and just create content to see what works on your store. So if you need to go, I understand. I'm documenting my journey trying to increase my earnings on TPT. This is recorded on Valentine's Day because I love you. I genuinely love chatting with TPT sellers to hear about your journey and to see if I can help. Now, the problem with the TPT sales report right now, you can see up here, you have this option to search by order ID or product. I've never had a TPT buyer say, here's my order ID, and then tell me about the issue. It hasn't really happened in my experience. What I really want to look up is the person's name and to find out what they've bought. And I can't do this from the TPT website. I can do this if I download my full CSV report, but then it can get complicated if you don't know how to use Google Sheets. So I created a solution and I just published it live on a freesellertool.com. This advanced search feature lets you search by the buyer's name or the city or the state or their country. So if I know your name, I can look up to see what you've bought. And this helps me communicate with you if I'm responding by email or if I'm responding to a comment. Now, larger businesses, what they have is software called Customer Relationship Management Software, CRM. TPT has this. On their end, if they get a support ticket, they can look up all of the comments and interactions that you've had. They can see what you've purchased. They can see everything because it's all in that database. We don't have something like that. If you're a TPT hawk and you're interested in learning what I use for that, just leave a comment. Now, this sales search tool lets us look up the buyer's name so we can see what they've bought and when they bought it, or when they got a refund. Let me show you how to get this free advanced sales search feature. Then I'll walk you through a case study of how I actually use it. I go to a freesellertool.com. You can get the free Google Sheet tool just by signing up for the SEOTpreneur newsletter. If you're like me, you can just search the word keep in your email, and chances are you'll find this email that says, keep this email to get the most recent version. So I'm going to confirm my subscription again. I'm going to make a copy of this latest version. If you're brand new to the channel, just click on this link. It'll take you to a free Google Sheet data tool that I posted on TPT that is way simpler than what I'm going to do today. Now, I need to upload my TPT sales data CSV into this Google Sheet. If I click down here, there's a TPT sales data CSV. Now, I could download my sales report from TPT and click download report, save it to my computer, and then in the TPT sales data CSV, if I just click on this yellow box, if I go File, Import, Upload, Browse, find the file, and then open it. If I click on the down arrow to select the location, I replace data at the selected cell. I just import the data, and then that'll import my data. I just click on rows 3 and 2 to highlight them. I right-click the row number. I delete the row. So here's my data. If I go to the very bottom of this, I know that TPT has a summary row that I have to delete. So I click on the row, I right-click it, I delete row, and now I have my data in here. So you could upload your data that way. Watch the video in the top left here because TPT only allows us to download our sales data 1 year at a time. And the video up in the top here will explain how to do this and get your data in here. The better solution is to use the data locker. So I'm just going to get rid of this file. I'm just going to trash it. I'm going to go back to the email to confirm my subscription and get a fresh copy of the TPT data tool, make a new copy. So this time I'm going to use the data locker. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with the data locker, check out the video at the top there. It walks you through how to set up Data Locker Orange. Now, I have a folder here called Mike. I'm going to click on it. And in here, I've bookmarked my data locker source. So I'm going to open that, Pro tip, if I hold the control key and click on it, it opens it up in a new tab. Here is my data locker, and you can see I already have uploaded my TPT sales data. I will very quickly update this data locker with today's data. So I'm going to go control down to jump to the bottom. I'm going to click the first empty cell. I go File, Import, Upload, Browse. I upload my sales report. It's going to have everything from the beginning of February, but that's okay because I can remove duplicates. I change the import location to replace the data at the selected cell. I hit Import Data, and here's my data. I have to remember to get rid of these 2 header rows, right-click, delete rows. And if I go control down, I can jump to the bottom and I can see here's a summary row I need to get rid of. I just right-click the row number and delete row. Now, I have to get rid of the duplicates from earlier in February, so I just go Data, Data Cleanup, Remove Duplicates. I have a header row. I don't want to select all, so I unselect it. And I want to base it on the date, column B, the order ID, column C, the product ID, column D, and then your earnings in column U. I click Remove Duplicates. It says 57 duplicate rows removed. Awesome. So now my data locker has all of my data. I'm going to go back to my data tool with this advanced sales tool. I'm going to scroll down. I see a spot here to copy the link to my data source. I go to my data source. I copy the link, Control C. I click in this orange box. I Control V to paste it in. So now the Google Sheet tells me to give permission. And if I hover over the purple, it says you need to connect these spreadsheets. So I'll click Allow Access. And I'm now connecting my latest advanced sales search update with my data locker. There we go. It says you are using data locker orange. And I can see here that it's uploaded my product stats and my sales data. Let's just double check that my numbers match up. If I click on total earnings and then click on the link, it'll open up my sales report page. I should have $83,290, and I see here $83,290. So I know that my sales data is reliable in this Google Sheet because the numbers match. Please note that product stat CSV might be out of sync because that product stat CSV does not update live. Now here comes the fun part. I go to advanced sales search. Let me show you how this works. On top of buyer, if I type Fuchigami and hit enter, it pulls up all the Fuchigamis that have bought one of my resources. As you can see here, I have a buyer account where I test things because I want to make sure that my users have a good experience. Sometimes I record tutorial videos showing what happens from the buyer's perspective. Something interesting I can see here is I can see the city and the state. I have my actual account where I buy things, Ottawa, Ontario, but I also have an American credit card which has a billing address in the States. If I want to see only the purchases from Ottawa, I could add here Ottawa, and then it'll filter based on whatever words I have in the yellow spots here. If I get rid of Fuchigami, you'll be able to see all the purchases in Ottawa. If I want to see who's buying the everything bundle, I can see right now no one in Ottawa has bought the everything bundle. If you're a new TPT seller and you're still watching this video, something to keep in perspective is your friends aren't really gonna buy your stuff. They're not your target market. Your colleagues have their own lives. They're busy teaching. You might have really close besties that might support you and buy your things, but generally speaking, your former colleagues are not your customer base. Your ideal customer avatar are teachers like you, because if you made it and you like it, then chances are other teachers who are like you will also like your stuff. You probably have the same teaching style. So don't feel disappointed if your former colleagues don't buy your stuff. It's a thing. Now, I'll show you a case study of how I used this tool in the past. Let's say you get an awesome review or a horrible review or a mediocre review, and you want to know a little bit more about the person who bought your stuff to understand context. Is this their first resource they bought? Have they bought a number of resources? Do you want to see their purchase history? Do you want to see when they first bought the resource? The current TPT sales report website page doesn't really help us out, although you can search for the person's name on this first page. So let's say I'm looking for the person's name was Mike. If I go Control F and then type Mike, I can see that there are no Mikes on this page. But this page is only showing the first 20 results out of 6,159 results. So I can't search on the web page directly. If I had the buyer's name and first initial of their last name, if I search up Mike F, for example, and I hit enter, it'll pull up everyone who is like Mike F. So it could be Mike Fuchigami or Mike Forrest or Mike Frank, anyone that has Mike space F. If the name contains your search term in yellow, it'll pull it up in this list. But what do we do if the person leaving the review is a TPT seller and they have a store name? No problem. Here's how we can figure out what their purchase was. You click on the store name and it'll take you to their store page. We can see their country, the state, and the city. For example, this seller is from Texas Killeen. Well, let's look that up. In the state, I type Texas and nothing shows up. And then you think it doesn't work. But it's not actually Texas. If I type fewer letters, like just T, it's the 2-letter acronym. So I type TX and it pulls up all of the people from Texas. If I search up by the city, there's only one person. And if I look at the resource that they're leaving a response to, it matches. Although the review might have been left this year, it was actually purchased a year ago. And that can help provide context like, oh, wow, you've been using this for a while. It just helps me to know a little bit more of their buyer story so I can try to build a relationship with the people that buy my stuff. Sometimes in TPT land, we start to look for meaning that may not exist. If you got a review and the product sold a few days ago, you might think that they're the same person. Maybe you try something new on that product. And so now you're thinking, yeah, what I tried on that product is working. Maybe. Or maybe they bought this a year ago and it's just 2 random events. It's a coincidence. If you have an idea for what I could call this feature, can you leave a comment? I know you're thinking maybe let's just call it advanced search. And I thought about that, but I have another series of pivot tables called advanced by product, advanced by location, advanced by location units sold. And I didn't want that to get confusing. Coming up with names is a hard thing. If you can think of a better name than advanced sales search, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to learn more about the data locker, watch this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out this video. It explains a little bit about the YouTube community and the SEOTpreneur community. See you next time.